Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to become a millionaire, you must first learn to think like one. Wealth is never born in your wallet. It begins in your mind. Of your life, the road to riches isn't a secret kept by the few. It's a discipline, a mental habit, and a set of principles that anyone willing to master can achieve. For the remainder of your life, let me share with you 13 keys that will transform the way you think and open the doors to abundance. If you want to think like a millionaire, the first step is absolute clarity about what you want. You cannot chase a vague dream of being rich and expect it to inspire action. For the millionaires are precise with their goals. They know the exact amount of wealth they wish to create, the lifestyle they want to live, and the kind of legacy they will leave behind. For the remainder of life, this clarity turns a simple wish into a burning target, a goal that your mind cannot ignore. Writing it down daily and seeing it in front of you conditions your subconscious to recognize opportunities aligned with your vision. Without this clarity, for the remainder of your life, even the best opportunities might pass you by unnoticed. Once you know what you want, belief becomes the foundation for every action. For the remainder of life, those who achieve great fortunes convince themselves first that it is possible, even before any evidence appears. This unshakable belief transforms doubt into determination and fear into courage. It makes you act boldly when others hesitate and persist when others quit. A millionaire mindset is built on this faith, a quiet but powerful conviction that you will succeed no matter how long it takes. That belief will draw people, resources, and ideas into your life in ways that seem almost magical, but it begins only when you decide to trust yourself fully. Desire fuels belief, and it must burn hotter than anything else in your life. Wealth does not respond to casual interest or fleeting motivation. It answers only to relentless desire. For the remainder of life, when your dream keeps you awake at night, when it becomes the first thought in the morning and the last before sleep, for the remainder of your life, you have tapped into the kind of passion that creates extraordinary results. That desire transforms hard work into joy, sacrifices into investments for the remainder of your life, and setbacks into challenges you gladly overcome. It is the emotional fire that drives millionaires forward long after others have given up. For the remainder of your life, but desire without direction is wasted energy, which is why you must have a clear plan to reach your goal. Millionaires do not wander aimlessly hoping success will find them. They create a roadmap, however imperfect, and commit to adjusting it as they go. Every step is deliberate, saving, investing, learning, and building connections. A plan turns actions into results. Even when circumstances change, having a defined course allows you to navigate challenges with confidence rather than panic. For the remainder of your life, this disciplined approach is what keeps progress steady and measurable over time. Finally, to sustain this journey, you must guard your thoughts and surround yourself with people who strengthen your vision. Negative thoughts are the enemies of success, and negative people amplify them. For the millionaires, protect their mindset fiercely, focusing on solutions instead of problems and seeking out companions who inspire growth rather than drag them down. With the right circle and a disciplined mind, setbacks become lessons, criticism becomes fuel, and every obstacle transforms into a stepping stone. This combination of clarity, belief, for the remainder of your life, desire, planning, mental discipline is the true blueprint to thinking and ultimately living like a millionaire. When you set out on the path to wealth, the first battle you must win is within your own mind. The world will not believe in your vision at first, so you must be the one to carry that faith until reality catches up. Convince yourself so completely that there is no room for doubt, no crack through which fear can enter. When you hold this conviction, your actions gain a level of power and persistence that others cannot understand. This belief becomes your shield in hard times, your compass when you feel lost, and your fuel when every part of you wants to quit. Deep belief has a strange way of transforming how you see the world. Problems begin to appear as challenges rather than dead ends. Obstacles become opportunities to grow stronger and sharper. Because you trust that success is inevitable, you start to notice doors that were invisible before. Suddenly, you meet the right people at the right time. You hear ideas that spark solutions, and opportunities seem to find you. This isn't magic, it's the power of focus and expectation at work. Think of belief as a magnet pulling everything you need toward you. For remainder life, when your thoughts are routed in faith rather than fear, your energy changes, and so does the way you act. You walk with more confidence, you speak with more conviction, and you make decisions boldly. That energy is contagious. People are drawn to it, and they want to be part of it. This is why so many who hold unwavering belief find doors opening for them that others never see. The world responds differently to someone who knows where they are going. But belief alone isn't enough. It must be nurtured every day. Life will test you with delays, failures, and criticism. Without daily renewal of that inner conviction, you risk slipping back into doubt. Repeat your goals to yourself every morning, visualize the outcome you desire, and remind yourself why you started. For the remainder of your life, every small victory should strengthen that belief, and every setback should reinforce your commitment to prove yourself right. For the remainder of life, this discipline ensures your belief stays alive and unshakable. Eventually, this belief reshapes not only your results, but also your identity. You stop merely chasing wealth and start becoming the kind of person capable of creating it. With this shift, success is no longer a question of if, but only when. You move forward with quiet certainty, knowing that the world cannot deny someone who refuses to doubt themselves. For the remainder of your life, in this state of mind, thinking like a millionaire becomes natural, and becoming one becomes inevitable. The remainder of life, a lukewarm which will never move you toward the life you dream of. It is too weak to survive the storms that success demands you endure. To rise above the ordinary, you must feel a hunger so deep that it refuses to let you stay the same. This burning desire grips you at every moment. When you wake, when you work, and even when you sleep, it drives you to learn faster, act bolder, and push harder than those who only wish casually for success. Without this fire, comfort will always win, and your dream will fade quietly into regret. This desire is not born from greed, but from purpose. It is rooted in something bigger than money. The life you want to create, the people you want to help, the freedom you crave. When the reason behind your goal is powerful enough, you will willingly do what others avoid. You will sacrifice temporary pleasures, endure uncomfortable challenges, and stay disciplined when everyone else gives up. This purpose turns pain into fuel and struggle into meaning, making the journey worth every step. A burning desire forces you to take action. You no longer wait for the perfect time or flawless plan. You move forward with what you have. Each step forward ignites the next for the remainder of your life, and momentum begins to build. Even when exhaustion sets in, that inner fire whispers, keep going. And you listen. For the remainder of your life, millionaire thinkers do not allow themselves the luxury of quitting because their desire is stronger than any excuse. It is this relentless drive that separates those who dream from those who achieve. When challenges appear, and they always do, your burning desire becomes your shield. Where others see defeat, you see another reason to fight harder. Setbacks stop being reasons to quit. They become reminders of why you must win. Each obstacle you overcome strengthens your resolve, proving to yourself that nothing can truly stand in your way. Over time, this persistence becomes a habit, and success stops being a matter of chance. It becomes a matter of time. In the end, burning desire does more than bring you wealth. It transforms you into a different person. You become resilient, focused, and unstoppable. The passion that once kept you awake at night eventually wakes you up in the morning, ready to chase your dream again for the remainder of your life. And when you finally achieve it, you will realize that the journey itself, the fire that drove you, was what truly made you rich. Wishing for success without a plan is like setting sail without a map. You may drift, but you will never arrive where you intend to go. A millionaire's mind understands that clarity of direction is everything. Even an imperfect plan gives you a target to aim for and a path to follow. It transforms hope into action, turning vague dreams into tangible steps you can execute every day. Without structure, even the most passionate desire eventually loses strength and collapses under uncertainty. For the remainder of your life, creating a plan does not mean waiting for the perfect conditions or flawless strategies. Those who think like millionaires know perfection is an illusion and progress is built through action. They take the best step they can today and refine it tomorrow. For the remainder of life, this mindset allows them to adapt quickly when circumstances shift, rather than being paralyzed by indecision. For the remainder of your life, a flexible plan is far more powerful than no plan at all because it creates momentum that keeps you moving forward. When you have a plan, every decision becomes simpler. You know what serves your goal and what distracts from it. Instead of scattering your energy on countless possibilities, You focus on the few actions that bring real results. For the remainder of your life, this focus compounds over time, allowing you to achieve more in months than most do in years. Millionaires do not wander aimlessly from one idea to the next. They stay committed to a clear strategy and see it through until results appear. A clear plan also builds confidence. As you check off each step, no matter how small, for the remainder of your life, you prove to yourself that progress is happening. This visible proof keeps your motivation alive and strengthens your belief that the bigger goal is within reach. The journey may be long, but every completed milestone reminds you that success is not some distant dream. It is unfolding with every action you take. Eventually, the habit of planning becomes second nature. You stop relying on luck and start relying on preparation. While others are surprised by setbacks, you are ready for them. For the remainder of life, as are lost in shells, you already know your next move. This quiet sense of control is what allows millionaires to build empires from simple beginnings. Because every great fortune started not with a wish, but with a plan. For the remainder of your life, the people around you quietly shape the way you think, act, and believe in yourself. If you surround yourself with those who constantly complain, doubt, or settle for mediocrity, for the remainder of life, you will unconsciously lower your own standards to match theirs. But if you choose to walk among people who push boundaries, dream boldly, and refuse to quit, you will feel compelled to rise to their level. Millionaire thinkers know that environment is not passive. It either pulls you forward or drags you down. Being in the presence of ambitious minds forces you to think bigger. Their victories remind you what is possible, and their persistence reminds you what it takes. For the remainder of your life, instead of discouraging your dreams, they inspire you to set higher goals and expect more from yourself. Even casual conversations with such people can spark ideas that shift the course of your life. The energy they radiate feeds your own determination, making it nearly impossible to stay stagnant. This circle is not only about inspiration, it is also about accountability. Supportive people will celebrate your progress for the remainder of your life, but they will also challenge you when you fall short. They won't allow you to hide behind excuses or delay your goals indefinitely, for their belief in your potential keeps you honest with yourself, and their honest feedback helps you grow faster than you could alone. In their presence, for the remainder of your life, you are constantly reminded of who you can become. At times, this choice requires letting go of relationships that no longer align with where you are going. It can be uncomfortable, for the remainder of life, even painful to distance yourself from negativity. But it is necessary if you want to build a life that matches your vision. Millionaire thinkers understand that loyalty to old habits and old circles can quietly sabotage new opportunities. Choosing the right company is not selfish. It is essential to your future. When you intentionally create an environment of ambitious, disciplined people, you step into a constant cycle of growth. Their energy fuels yours, for the remainder progress inspires them, and together you rise higher than you ever could alone. Over time, for the remainder of your life, this circle becomes more than a support system. It becomes a powerful force that keeps you aligned with your vision, even on days when your own motivation wavers. For the remainder of life, this is how environments turn ordinary individuals into extraordinary achievers. Negative thoughts are silent thieves that rob you of energy, focus, and courage before you even take your first step. They whisper convincing lies about why you cannot succeed for the remainder of life, why the risk is too high, and why failure is inevitable. If left unchecked, these thoughts slowly erode your confidence and paralyze your actions. Millionaire thinkers understand this danger, so they train themselves to become guardians of their own minds. They refuse to allow fear or doubt to linger, for the replacing destructive thoughts with empowering ones the moment they arise. Replacing fear with faith is not about ignoring reality. It is about choosing to focus on possibility instead of limitation. When you believe that solutions exist, your mind begins searching for them. Where others see dead ends, you see openings. This shift in thinking allows you to take bold action while others hesitate, and that action creates opportunities that would never appear to the doubtful. Faith becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you expect success, the more you create it. Doubt will always attempt to return, especially in moments of struggle, for the remainder of determination is its greatest enemy. Determination says, I will figure it out, no matter how long it takes. It transforms setbacks into lessons and failures into stepping stones. While others waste energy worrying about what might go wrong, For the remainder of your life, a determined mind stays focused on finding ways to make things right. This habit of persistence, rooted in focused thinking for the remainder of your life, is one of the greatest advantages you can develop on the path to wealth. Training your mind to focus on solutions is not something that happens overnight. It is a disciplined practice daily. It begins with awareness, catching yourself in the act of negative thinking, and immediately choosing a better thought. Over time, this conscious redirection rewires your patterns, making positivity and resourcefulness your default response. This mental training is just as critical as any financial skill, because even the best strategy fails if your mindset sabotages it. Eventually, guarding your thoughts becomes second nature. You no longer waste energy on worry or comparison because you understand they serve no purpose. Instead, your energy is spent imagining what you can build, improve, and create. For the remainder of your life, this quiet mastery of your inner world gives you an edge over those trapped by their own fears. In the long run, for the remainder of life, the wealth you build externally is a direct reflection of the wealth you've cultivated internally. For the remainder of your life, seeing yourself all day living the life you dream of is more than daydreaming. It is training your mind to believe in the reality you are creating. When you close your eyes and vividly picture the home you will live in, the freedom you will enjoy, and the person you will become, your brain begins to treat that vision as possible. This mental rehearsal creates a sense of familiarity with success, so when opportunities appear, you are prepared to act rather than doubt. The more often you do this, the stronger the bridge between imagination and reality becomes. Visualization awakens emotion, and emotion fuels action. When you not only see but also feel the joy, pride, and gratitude of achieving your dream, your motivation intensifies. It is no longer just an idea, it becomes something your heart longs for deeply. That emotional connection pushes you to work harder, stay disciplined, and endure discomfort because you have already tasted the victory in your mind. Life. Many people quit because their vision is too weak to inspire persistence. But those who visualize daily never forget what they are working toward. Clarity in your mental picture is crucial. Vague images lead to vague results, but a detailed vision sharpens your focus. Imagine the smallest details, the smell of the new car, for the remainder of your life, on your footsteps in your dream home, the conversations you will have with those you love once you succeed. These details make the vision real to your subconscious mind for the remainder of your life, and your subconscious begins directing your actions toward making it happen. Without this clarity, distractions will easily pull you away from your path. Consistent visualization rewires your thinking. The more you repeat it, the more mind begins to align your daily habits with the person you see in that vision. You naturally start making choices that support your dream, saving instead of spending, learning instead of wasting time, taking action instead of procrastinating. For the gap between are and where you want to begins to close because you have already accepted that future as your truth. Over time, what once felt impossible begins to feel inevitable. The vision no longer feels distant or unrealistic. It feels like the next chapter waiting to be claimed. This shift in mindset gives you quiet confidence and unwavering persistence, two qualities that separate those who wish from those who achieve. By consistently visualizing your success for the remainder of your life, you are not just imagining your future, you are programming yourself to create it. Those who achieve extraordinary wealth understand that learning never stops. They treat every day as a classroom and every experience as a teacher. While most people assume education ends after school, millionaire thinkers know that life constantly evolves, and with it, so must their knowledge. They actively seek out books. For the remainder of life, mentors and new information that sharpen their minds and open doors to opportunities others overlook. This hunger for growth ensures they are always prepared for the next challenge or breakthrough. Knowledge is a powerful multiplier. For the remainder of life, the right idea at the right time can save years of trial and error and unlock possibilities that once seemed out of reach. Millionaires invest heavily in learning because they know a single skill or insight can transform their income and their future. They do not see reading, listening, or studying as optional. They see it as an essential part of building their wealth. Every hour spent learning compounds, paying dividends for years to come. A commitment to learning also creates adaptability. In a world that changes quickly, those who cling to old ways get left behind. But those who continue to grow can spot trends, seize emerging opportunities, and pivot when necessary. This ability to adapt keeps them relevant and competitive, no matter how the economy shifts. Lifelong students are never caught off guard. They are prepared because they never stop preparing. Learning does not come only from success. It also comes from failure. Millionaire thinkers analyze their mistakes carefully, asking what lessons can be drawn and how to avoid repeating them. Instead of letting failure discourage them, they use it as raw material for future success. This mindset transforms setbacks into stepping stones, turning every obstacle into an opportunity for wisdom and growth. Over time, this constant pursuit of knowledge builds quiet confidence. When you know you are always learning and improving, you stop fearing challenges and start embracing them. You trust yourself to find answers, develop solutions, and rise above difficulties because you have trained your mind to grow through anything. For this habit of lifelong learning is not just a tool for becoming wealthy, it is the foundation for staying wealthy. For the remainder of life is not only created by opportunity, it is sustained by control over oneself. For the remainder of your life, the greatest fortunes are often built by people who mastered their own impulses long before they mastered money. Discipline is the invisible thread that holds success together. The quiet choice to do what must be done even when it feels uncomfortable or inconvenient. Without it, even the best plans fall apart because dreams without action remain dreams forever. Self-discipline begins with habits. Small choices repeated daily, waking early, saving consistently, prioritizing learning over entertainment, shape the course of a life. Millionaire thinkers understand that habits decide destiny, and they protect those habits fiercely. While others look for motivation to act, they rely on structure to guide them. This consistency builds results that compound quietly, turning ordinary days into extraordinary achievements over time. Controlling emotions is equally vital. Wealth creation is filled with ups and downs, and unchecked emotions lead to reckless decisions. Overspending in excitement, quitting in frustration, or panicking during setbacks. For the remainder of your life, those who build real fortunes learn to stay calm when others are chaotic. They respond instead of react. For the remainder of life, keeping their focus on the long-term vision rather than being swayed by short-term feelings. This emotional stability is a powerful advantage in a world where most people give up too soon. Discipline also demands sacrifice. There will be moments when you must choose growth over comfort, savings over indulgence, or action over procrastination. These sacrifices may feel heavy in the moment, but they are the price of freedom later. Millionaires willingly pay that price because they understand the reward is worth far more than the temporary discomfort. Over time, for the remainder of your life, the things you once resisted become habits you cannot imagine living without. Eventually, self-discipline becomes part of your identity. Your life, you no longer fight with yourself to make the right choice. It becomes automatic. This inner mastery is what separates dreamers from doors and temporary success from lasting legacy. For the remainder of your life, when you control your actions, emotions, and habits, nothing outside you can truly control your future. For the remainder of life, it is this quiet discipline that quietly transforms ambition into achievement. For every great fortune been tested by moments of struggle that would have broken the average person. The road to wealth is not smooth or predictable. It is filled with delays, failures, and challenges that seem impossible at first glance. Those who think like millionaires understand that these trials are part of the process, not signs to stop. Instead of asking, "Why me?" they ask, "How can I overcome this?" This mindset shift transforms obstacles from dead ends into valuable lessons that shape resilience and sharpen strategy. For the remainder of your life, persistence is what separates those who almost succeed from those who actually do. Many start the journey with excitement, but few continue when the excitement fades and the grind begins. Millionaire thinkers keep moving forward even when results are invisible and progress feels painfully slow. For the remainder of your life, they understand that success often arrives right after the point where most people quit. Every day they show up. For the remainder of your life, they prove to themselves their commitment is stronger than their circumstances. Adjusting one's approach is also part of persistence. Stubbornly repeating the same mistake is not resilience, it is rigidity. True persistence means learning from failure, refining your strategy, and coming back stronger each time. Millionaires treat setbacks as feedback rather than defeat, using every challenge to improve their skills and sharpen their plans. Over time, each failure becomes a stepping stone toward a more refined and powerful version of their vision. The ability to persist is fueled by vision. For the remainder of life, when your goal is crystal clear and your reason for chasing it is deeply personal, giving up becomes unthinkable. For the remainder of your life, this inner drive pushes you forward when external rewards are absent and when no one else believes in you. The bigger the purpose, the stronger the endurance. And those who endure longest ultimately win the race, not because they never fall, but because they never stay down. In the end, persistence becomes a defining trait of character. The person who refuses to quit becomes unstoppable, because no amount of failure can defeat someone who always rises again. Over time, this relentless determination carves a path where none existed and proves that fortune belongs not to the most talented or lucky, but the most persistent. It is this quiet, for the remainder unshakable resolve that transforms ordinary individuals into extraordinary achievers. A growth always exists just beyond the edge of comfort, yet most people remain trapped in what feels safe. They cling to familiar routines and predictable outcomes, never realizing that security without progress slowly turns into stagnation. Those who build extraordinary wealth understand that avoiding all risk is, in itself, for the remainder of your life, the greatest risk of all. They do not gamble recklessly, but they also refuse to let fear of failure keep them from opportunities that could change their lives. Calculated risk-taking begins with preparation. Millionaire thinkers study their options carefully, weighting potential gains against possible losses. They gather information, seek guidance, and ensure that even if things go wrong, they can recover and try again. This deliberate approach allows them to move boldly, not blindly. Their courage comes not from ignorance of danger, but from confidence in their ability to navigate it. Taking risks is uncomfortable, yet it is in discomfort that growth is born. Each bold step expands your skills, your network, and your vision of what's possible. What once felt terrifying becomes normal, and with each victory, no matter how small, your tolerance for uncertainty grows. Over time, this willingness to step into the unknown becomes a defining advantage, setting you apart from those who never dared to try. Even when a risk does not bring the desired result, the lessons gained are invaluable. Failures reveal weaknesses, teach strategy, and prepare you for bigger opportunities ahead. Millionaire thinkers treat setbacks as tuition, the cost of learning what works and what doesn't. This mindset allows them to move quickly, adjust wisely, and keep momentum alive while others freeze in fear of mistakes. Ultimately, the courage to take calculated risks is what separates dreamers from doers. Those who win at life are not always the most talented, but they are willing to leap while others watch. They accept that fortune favors the bold and that temporary discomfort is a small price to pay for lasting abundance. By stepping beyond comfort and into calculated uncertainty, for the remainder unlock doors that the cautious will never even see. For the remainder of your life, true wealth is never built by chasing money alone. It is built by creating value so great that money naturally follows. Those who think like millionaires shift their focus from what they can get to what they can give. They constantly ask themselves, how can I serve more people? How can I solve bigger problems? This perspective transforms ambition into contribution and contribution into abundance. The more lives you impact, for the more opportunities and rewards flow back to you. When your primary goal is to create value, trust, and reputation grow effortlessly. People sense when your motives are sincere for their inner life, and they respond with loyalty and respect. Opportunities multiply because others are eager to work with you, support you, and recommend you. This network of goodwill becomes more valuable than any single transaction. Over time, your ability to help others opens doors that money alone could never unlock. Creating value also ensures your success is sustainable. Quick profits without meaningful impact often fade as quickly as they appear for the remainder of your life, but solutions that genuinely improve people's lives stand the test of time. Millionaire thinkers focus on solving real problems in ways that matter. Whether through products, for the remainder of your life, services, or ideas, they dedicate themselves to making life easier, better, or more inspiring for others. This commitment to lasting impact keeps their wealth growing even when trends change. The act of giving more than you take fosters a mindset of abundance. Instead of clinging to every resource out of fear, you begin to see generosity as an investment. The more you give, whether knowledge, time, or service, the more your influence expands. People are drawn to those who lift others up, and this magnetic effect brings opportunities that cannot be bought. The cycle of giving and receiving builds momentum that compounds over a lifetime. Ultimately, those who prioritize service over self interest find a deeper sense of fulfillment. The wealth they build is not only measured in money, but in the lives they touch and the legacy they leave behind. By focusing on value, they create impact that outlives them for the remainder of life, proving that true abundance is born not from taking more, but from giving more than anyone else is willing to give. Reaching a milestone is not the end of the journey. It is simply proof that you are capable of more. Millionaire thinkers never allow success to make them complacent. They celebrate their victories, but immediately set their sights on the next horizon. This constant pursuit of growth keeps their ambition alive and prevents them from becoming stagnant. Each achievement becomes a stepping stone, not a resting place, as they continue to expand what they believe is possible. This mindset comes from understanding that abundance is limitless. There is no ceiling to what can be created, no boundary to how far one can grow. When you adopt this perspective, you stop viewing success as a destination and begin seeing it as an evolving journey. Each new level of achievement simply reveals greater opportunities ahead. Instead of asking, "Have I done enough?" you begin asking, "What more can I create?" Continually setting bigger goals also fuels personal transformation, for the person who accomplishes one dream is not the same person who will achieve the next. With every challenge you overcome, your skills sharpen, your mindset strengthens, and your vision broadens. By pushing yourself to dream bigger, you ensure that growth never stops and that each new goal stretches you into a better version of yourself. This cycle of expansion also inspires others. When people witness you refusing to settle, they are motivated to higher in their own lives. Your journey becomes a living example of what's possible, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond your personal success. In this way, for the remainder of your life, your relentless pursuit of growth becomes both a personal reward and a source of impact for everyone around you. Ultimately, never stopping at one dream ensures that life remains exciting and purposeful. There is always another summit to climb, another vision to bring to life, another way to contribute more deeply. For the remainder of life, those who think like millionaires know that the joy of success is not in reaching the finish line, but in continually discovering how much further they can go. Growth, after all, is infinite, and so is the potential within you. Friends, the millionaire mindset isn't about greed. It's about growth, contribution, and freedom. It's about refusing mediocrity and daring to live fully. If you choose these thoughts, nurture them daily, and act with unwavering faith, for the remainder of you will not just think like a millionaire, you will become one.